The White House wants to promote better cooperation between agencies and their inspector general offices. The Biden administration has released new guidance with action items for agencies to improve communication with IGs. Courtney Bublé is a staff correspondent at Government Executive. Courtney, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so just tell me, what's the role of an inspector general at a federal agency?
So there are about 74 inspectors general throughout the government, and their roles are to root out waste, fraud, and abuse in agency programs, personnel actions, and they issue frequent reports that can be seen on oversight.gov for the public, Congress, anybody else to read.
And what has been the relationship recently between agencies and their inspectors general?
Well, under the Trump administration, we saw a lot of unprecedented actions from, high-profile firings to Trump going after certain IGs during briefings. Now, he's not the first president to have a contentious relationship with watchdogs. This is nothing new. However, throughout my reporting and the experts I spoke with, they said a lot of his actions were fairly unprecedented, and the Biden administration now is really trying to rectify that.
So they're trying to roll back all the things that happened in the previous administration?
Yes, exactly.
So why is this guidance from OMB being called unprecedented? What's the big deal?
Well, it's basically telling agencies they should work with their watchdogs, which we really didn't see under the Trump administration. It talks about how they should be increasing communication and cooperation with them, designating a senior official to serve as a liaison to these IG offices. Now, well, they're noting that IGs still have to be independent and, do what they need to do to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. However, there still can be that type of collaboration. And OMB, the two top officials, said that this really needs to happen in order to really make the government function properly.
So what's the role of OMB in supporting inspectors general? What's their role in all this?
Well, OMB has been called the nerve center of the government. It stands for Office of Management and Budget, and the deputy director for management at OMB, he's the de facto executive chair of CIGI, which is the Council of Inspectors Generals for Integrity and Efficiency. So he's really going to play a central role in serving as a liaison, I guess, between agencies overall and the IGs. And they're really emphasizing that with all of these, social spending packages and just spending overall with the government, that there needs to be proper oversight.
So I wanted to ask you about CIGI, which is a really cute acronym. Council of the Inspectors General on Integrity and Efficiency.
Yes.
What is it? Who's it made up of?
Well, it's a council of sitting inspectors generals. There are certain councils within CIGI that focus on certain things, such as investigations, integrity, or just training. So it's basically a central hub for IGs, and they can go to CIGI if they ever need help with anything, or if there are complaints within the IG community itself, because somebody has to watch the watchdogs. So that's another role that they play.
And then who is in charge of it? Who chairs it? How does that work?
So Allison Lerner, who's the IG for the National Science Foundation, she's the chair, and there's a whole slew of top officials who all are IG, so this is the work they're doing, but this CIGI Council is basically a clearinghouse for IGs overall.
So there are several vacancies right now. As of this taping, how many vacancies are there?
So as of this morning, there are 12 IG positions that don't have confirmed leadership. They all have acting officials in some capacity, and this is not a new problem. We saw this a lot under Obama, under Trump, even before. But Biden has been making some progress in nominating and then getting some officials confirmed, but we're still not at 100%.
So what impact does that have when you've got, these vacancies and you've got acting instead of confirmed members?
Well, a lot of experts that you talk to will say that there can be great acting inspectors general. However, oftentimes when they're not confirmed, they don't go through that vetting process ahead of time through the Senate to see if there's anything, bad in their background. Oftentimes it could impact morale at the agency, or it could give the perception that they're not as independent as they are supposed to be. We saw that under the Trump administration with some of the people we had serving as acting officials. They were also serving in that agency as well. And also, the metaphor that Max Steyer from the Partnership for Public Service, who I know has been on the show before, has used is the metaphor of the substitute teacher, where they can be a great teacher, you can learn a lot from them, but they're not going to have the authority that a full teacher will have.
And nobody's going to really take them seriously.
Exactly.
So have you seen any reaction to this guidance yet? What's kind of on the street?
So Allison Lerner, who is the chair of CIGI, she said this guidance is unprecedented, and she really complimented it because it was based off of recommendations from CIGI and the research they've done recently. Also, the Project on Government Oversight, which is not a government group, but they're basically a nonprofit watchdog, they also complemented it because they've also put forth a lot of recommendations that they saw come to fruition in this guidance.
Do you think that, that this will make a difference? I mean, are agency heads looking at this and saying, oh, we need to change our ways, oh, we need to start doing this, this, and this?
So my guess would be that yes, because it has to come from the top. You have to see that agenda setting from the president. We really didn't see that under the Trump administration with a guidance like this. So I think if this guidance is saying that this is a priority of the president, you'd like to think that agencies are going to follow it because that's their president, that's their leader.
You would think so.
I would think. I would hope.
All right, Courtney.
Being optimistic.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.